much attention was paid to the issue of business facilitation, the energy program of the government, because this is very central, the ICT, agri-parks, maritime sector, logistics hub, the privatization program, and all those elements which taken together, including, most importantly, the emphasis on facilitating small and medium enterprises as a crucial component in the generation of employment, along with the other major projects. Tourism and tourism construction, integrated resort development were also critical elements. All of this will feature in the budget debate, which will, as I said, begin on the 18th of April. But there was also a specific report that was given on the issue of the International Monetary Fund and those discussions and the approval process for Jamaica's fund program. Members of the public may recall that on the 15th of February, the government of Jamaica and the staff of the International Monetary Fund arrived at a staff level agreement here in Kingston, which concerned our eligibility to access resources under an extended fund facility in order to support Jamaica's economic reform program over a 4-year period. This agreement signified that, subject to the completion of a set of prior actions, the policies and programs proposed by the government were deemed to be consistent with the key objectives of growth, fiscal consolidation, and debt reduction that the government of Jamaica was setting out to achieve, and which was endorsed by the fund staff. It was expected, on the basis of this program, that the program would be submitted to the executive board of the fund, subject to our completion of prior actions and the receipt of financing assurances by the fund management by the end of March. It is apparent to us that the end of March date will not be met, but I can report, and I reported to the cabinet, that the prior action obligations of the government of Jamaica have been completed, all of them. Agreement was to be reached with the major unions representing at least 70% of public sector workers on foregoing wage increases and limiting wage increases for the period 2013 through to 2014-15 before the end of this fiscal year, which ends March next week. This prior action has been met. We have agreements with unions representing more than 80% of the public sector workforce, all of whom have already signed a memorandum of understanding with the government. The second was that the government was to introduce and approve through cabinet a new policy governing discretionary waivers. There was thirdly the passage of legislation governing the management of public debt. This prior action was met in November 2012. And there was the debt exchange, which was required to provide at least 8.5% of GDP. In addition to the prior actions, we can say that all the issues relating to Jamaica's letter of intent have been agreed with the IMF. This This is all contained in the Memorandum of Economic and Financial Policies that the government intends to pursue over the 4-year period. Subsequent to the submission of the program to the management of the fund, there is the issue of financing assurances from other multilateral institutions that would share credit exposure to Jamaica. And this is an issue that has arisen. The partners concerned are the Inter-American Development Bank and the World Bank, who have been having discussions with each other and with the fund, but have not concluded their discussions on a program of financial support for Jamaica to the satisfaction of all 3 institutions. Jamaica is not directly involved in these discussions, but is aware of the discussions and has been urging each institution separately to accelerate their internal processes that can lead to a decision.